Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
BAL Tire.
There's strike three, and Colorado continues to cruise along. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. And a swing and a high fly ball toward left center field. Jackson is on the run, still going. He makes the catch. Oh, Jackson! Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga curves. He's out. No, he's safe. Oh, my goodness. Armando Galarraga and Jim Joyce. A night in June, two names forever etched as one. Tonight they return to the field for the first time where the hands of fate were unforgiving. But out of the depths of that misfortune came forgiveness, a situation handled with such class and dignity by both men. Tonight, Joyce is behind the plate. Galarraga will be staring right back. Will this be the final chapter in an almost perfect tale? They say there's no crying in baseball. So we'll find out next. It is an absolutely beautiful night for baseball here in the Motor City as we welcome you to Comerica Park and Game 1 in this three-game weekend series featuring the visiting Baltimore Orioles and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for Game 1 of this three-game series. And, Rod, obviously, the big matchup tonight is not on the field per se, but you've got Jim Joyce behind the plate, Galarraga on the mound, and back on June 2nd. These two really provided one of the lasting memories of this year.
Well, there's no question about that. I've been very, very fortunate in my professional career. I've played in a no-hitter. I've been behind the microphone in a no-hitter. I've also been behind the microphone in Game 7 of the World Series back in 2001. But nothing has compared to the emotion that was in the ballpark this night and the days to follow. And the reason for all the emotion was the way that Galarraga handled himself after Jim Joyce did not make the call. And everybody thought that it should have been a no-hitter by Galarraga. And, of course, next day, Jim Leland gave Galarraga the lineup card to take out to Jim Joyce. So just an emotional 3 days here after the perfect game that was not given to Galarraga.
An interesting storyline to the ballgame tonight. We'll see how it plays out. In the meantime, we go back to the Call Sam studios now. And with more on our coverage tonight, here's Mickey York. Field here. The Tigers hosting the Baltimore Orioles in game 1 of this series. And if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Starting lineup tonight for the visiting Orioles is presented by Honda Bloomfield. Brian Roberts leads it off. He's at second base, followed by Ty Wigginton and then Nick Markakis. Luke Scott, a Tigers killer, is the DH. Matt Wieters is the catcher, followed by Adam Jones, their fine center fielder. Their bottom 3 tonight is Felix Piet, Jake Fox, and Cesar Izturis. The scouting report on Armando Galarraga is brought to you by Ace Hardware.
One of the things that Galarraga has been doing very well lately, he's been getting a first strike over the plate with a real good moving fastball. And when he's able to do that, he's able to get to what I think is his best pitch, and that's the slider. And because of that, he is able to dominate right-handers, and he really has dominated right-handers since coming to the major leagues. They only hit .230 against Armando. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. It's always presented by Beaumont Hospital. You've got Rayburn in left. Jackson's in center. Brennan Bosch is in right. The infield third to first reads Inge, Peralta, Rhymes, Cabrera's back in the lineup after a couple of days off. And Alex Avila, who has been getting the bulk of the catching time, is back behind the plate catching Armando Galarraga.
Here are the numbers on Galarraga this year. He gave up just 1 run in 5 innings of work his last time out.
Earned run average is not all that bad at 3.89, starting to inch its way down to a respectable area. The opponent's hitting .258 against Armando, and Armando is pitching with a tremendous amount of confidence these days.
Yeah, that ERA was at about 4.5 late in July. We are ready for baseball tonight. First pitch of the ball game is in there. A strike call to Brian Roberts. It'll be Roberts, Wigginton, and Nick Markakis here in the first inning for the Baltimore Orioles. Here's the 0-1. Popped him up foul, and this one will get back out of play.
The Baltimore Orioles are quite a different team with Brian Roberts leading off for them. The first time we saw this club, he was on the disabled list with a bad back. He's only participated in 44 games this year, but at the top of their lineup, he's got some speed. He hits doubles. He's a really good leadoff man.
Of course, Buck Showalter is the new skipper in charge of the Orioles. 21-14 since he became manager in early August. He's got him playing some pretty good baseball.
Yes, he does.
No balls, 2 strikes on their leadoff man, Roberts. And he takes a ball high, 1-2. Roberts, a 7-game hitting streak, multiple hit games in 4 of his last 5. And here's Armando's 1-2. Once again fouled back out of play. Great night for baseball here. 69 degrees our game time temperature. Clear skies as the Tigers host the O's in the first of 3 over this weekend. September in full gear now as the Tigers start to count them down. And again the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Roberts is disposed of. First strikeout of the ball game for Galarraga.
Real good leadership here by Avila. You can see him patting with the glove, asking for the ball down at the bottom of the strike zone, and Galarraga throws it exactly where Avila was asking for that pitch. And we talked about that slider. It's been an outstanding pitch for Galarraga pretty much since he's come to the big leagues.
That'll bring up Ty Wigginton. Wigginton this year having a tremendous year. The first time, in fact, he was named to the All-Star team. And Galarraga starts him off with a strike. The familiar belting of the home plate umpire, Jim Joyce.
I don't think there was another name bantered around as much as Wigginton's name was at the trade deadline. I mean, everybody thought that he would not remain with the Baltimore Orioles. He would most definitely go to a contender.
Well, which is really why I'm shocked that he was still in a Baltimore uniform, because it seemed like everybody was in on this guy. But he is still here. And he drives one in the air to center field. Jackson is on the run, and there are 2 gone.
2 really good, young, athletic center fielders on display here in this game tonight. Of course, we know all about Jackson, and they've got one that's pretty good themselves in Adam Jones.
That'll be fun to watch tonight, Jones and Jackson. In the meantime, here is Nick Markakis.
Sounds like a heavyweight boxing match of Jones and Jackson.
Or some welterweights, you never know.
Well, they would be welterweights.
Here's Markakis, who is batting .289. He has hit safely in 16 of his last 17.
He is one of the best players in the American League on both sides of the ball, but you really don't know about him because Baltimore, they finish in last place just about every year, and the Orioles do not get on national television, but Markakis is a really solid player.
0-2 on Markakis. There are his career numbers. 296 career. The numbers overall this year maybe a little bit lower than he had last year, although he's walking more this season. And he rolls this one to second base. Rhymes will charge it. And Galarraga has himself a 1-2-3 inning. Nice start for Armando. We go to the bottom of the first. Kevin Millwood takes the mound for the O's. Tigers starting lineup tonight, which is presented by Big Boy. You see Austin Jackson will lead things off, followed by Will Rhymes, and then Johnny Damon, the DH. Miguel Cabrera's at first base. Then you got Rayburn in left. Bosch is in right. Peralta in. Janavilla will follow in the Tigers starting lineup. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Kevin Millwood. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, Kevin has all four pitches. He has the fastball, he has the curve, the slider, and the change. But they really have not been working all that effectively for him this year. He comes in with 15 losses, which is a career high. He's also surrendered 26 long balls. That's also tied for a career high. And he has not been getting a lot of run support from his teammates, just a shade over 3 runs a game for Millwood. And you do the math. If you're giving up 5, you're not going to win many games.
And he will face Jackson, Rhymes, and Damon here in the Tigers' first inning. Millwood, 35 years old, born in Gastonia, North Carolina. Been around a long time. He is 6'4", 235.
Yeah. There used to be a time where Millwood could get by with the elevated fastball in the 95-mile-per-hour range.
Bouncing ball deep in the hole. It's short. Is Turris can't handle it cleanly, and Jackson is aboard.
But Millwood no longer can feature those fastballs in the mid-90s, and they're simply 88 to 89, and he's given up quite a few hits this year. This should be a base hit for Jackson. Even if his Turris gets to this ball, it's going to be very, very difficult to throw the speedy Jackson out.
It is a base hit. Infield single for Austin Jackson.
Well, Rhymes probably is up there bunting. At least he has done quite a bit of that when Jackson has been on first base in the first inning.
With quite a bit of success, too. And he bunts one down the third base line. Wigginton. And that'll move the runner up. Wigginton had to come in and make a nice play just to get Rhymes. So very quickly, the Tigers get Jackson to the scoring position.
Wigginton knows exactly what we know. I know Buck Showalter probably knows all the scouting reports on all the guys, and he probably alerted Wigginton to the fact that Rhymes has been bunting quite a bit in the very first inning, getting that runner in the scoring position. It's a nice luxury to have when you have your number 3 and your number 4 hitter coming up with runners in the scoring position in the very first inning.
So here's Johnny Damon, whose average is up to 273 thanks to a 4-hit game yesterday. His first as a Tiger. One strike on Damon. Johnny, in fact, finished up that Chicago series 8 for 13. Trying to drive in a run here with one out. Here is Millwood's 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's that elevated fastball that I was speaking of that Millwood has had a lot of success throwing in his career, but that's when the velocity was 93 to 95. Most of his fastballs now are anywhere from 86 to 90 miles an hour.
It bounces in. Wieters will keep it in front of him, but Jackson easily gets to third base, standing up.
Real good read by Jackson at second. You always have to anticipate when you're on the base pass, and when you see the ball down to dirt, he doesn't hesitate. One quick step, and he's off and running, and Wieters can't make a play.
2-1 on Damon. Shattered his bat, popped him up. This will not get the run in. The first baseman, Fox, makes the catch, and the runner holds.
Well, this will be interesting to see whether Buck Showalter trusts Millwood, the veteran pitcher, enough to try to pitch around Cabrera with a base open and 2 outs and a runner in scoring position.
Well, if there's ever somebody that you might trust, it might be Millwood, because he's been around a long, long time. Cabrera batting .333. Leland talks about that all the time when you talk about trusting pitchers to pitch around in certain situations. He says oftentimes you would think that they would know to do it, but sometimes they make mistakes. And even if you're trying to pitch around a guy.
I'll tell you the problem with a lot of young pitchers when you ask them to pitch around a guy is they simply go out there and try to throw breaking balls. And usually when you're trying to pitch around somebody and you throw breaking balls, you make a mistake with that pitch. But your veteran guys, they throw fastballs up there, and they know they can locate that fastball. They can kind of throw it where they want to, whereas on most occasions they don't get burned.
That missed inside. And it's 2-0. Well, these numbers heavily in favor of Cabrera, 344.
And Ryan Rayburn in the on-deck circle, he kind of gets an idea that he might get a chance to hit here in the first inning as well with some traffic on the base pass.
And the 2-0 way outside. 3 balls, no strikes. So it looks like Cabrera will indeed be getting a free pass to first base. Galarraga had a 1-2-3 first inning. Here's Rayburn waiting on deck. There's a strike, 3-1. Cabrera, it wasn't certain whether or not he would play tonight. Jim Leland penciled him in originally, but said hold off on putting it in pen because we want to see how he takes batting practice. He's still bothered by the biceps tendonitis, but he's out there tonight. Line drive, and that's a fair ball. It kicks up chalk. A run will score. Jackson is in, and Cabrera heading to second base, and he's in safely.
That's what makes Cabrera so special. He hasn't had a live at-bat for 3 days. In the very first swing that he takes in a 3-1 count, he hits a seed on the chop down the left field line, and even the veteran pitcher Millwood got burned here trying to throw that little two-seam fastball down against Cabrera. What a mistake by Millwood.
Miguel Cabrera safe at second base, safe and secure. New York life. Just talking about that. Sometimes you can make mistakes, and there was one. He'd have been better off walking it.
His first swing in 3 days, and he hits the ball that solidly to the pull field. That's what Johnny Damon was talking about, the fact that he gets 1 or 2 pitches to hit a game, and he doesn't miss them.
Rayburn takes outside. Ryan is hitting .265. And the month of September has been a really, really good month for Rayburn, who just continues to pour it on now. He has a career-high 50 RBIs. He's hitting over 400 this month. And there's a strike called, 1-1.
Rayburn said one of the biggest differences in the fact that he has played so well is that he knows if he goes 0 for 4, which he has not had many of those,
he's still going to play the next day. And this is really the first time in his career at this level where he pretty much knows that he's going to get penciled in that lineup on a nightly basis.
1-2. Well, it seems to make a difference, doesn't it? Coming to the ballpark every day, knowing, as you look at his numbers in the last 10, that you've got a good chance of playing that night.
You don't press as much.
Cabrera has just doubled in a run, 1-0 Detroit. Millwood came in with 15 defeats this year. Way outside, it'll go to the backstop, and Cabrera will jog to third base.
That is the second wild pitch of the inning by Kevin. Wieters had no shot at knocking this one down.
Six wild pitches this year now for Millwood.
Wieters is the big catcher, about 6 feet 5 inches. There's a couple of other big catchers in the American League. Victor Martinez in Boston, Joe Mauer in Minnesota. They also have large frames.
It would seem that, at least in some instances or some cases, a large frame for a catcher can be a deterrent as opposed to helping you out.
Well, it's tough to get low. And every now and then, because they are so tall, they're particulars on the phenom, Matt Wieters. They stand up too quickly and they shade the umpire's view.
Got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner. Rayburn is out of there as Millwood picks up his first strikeout of the ball game. Tigers get a run. We go to the second. 1-0 Detroit. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Comcast, call 1-800-COMCAST for TV, phone, and internet. And by the new Ultimate 50-50 raffle from the Michigan Lottery. The current jackpot is at least $136,000. Got to get us some of those tickets, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's another nice crowd here tonight. Nice night for baseball. Tigers and O's getting together as we go to the second in a 1-0 game. And that ball is ripped fair down the right field line off the bat of Luke Scott. Who else?
What new?
He'll take the wide turn, but hold up.
I don't care what Luke Scott's numbers look like coming in. Whenever there's a Tigers pitcher on that mound, boy, he turns into Hercules.
That'll bring up Matt Wieters. Scott now 3 for 7 career against Scott with a couple of homers. So here's Wieters, 11 home runs this year. Good numbers this season against the Tigers in the series that these two teams played earlier this year. The Tigers swept them. That was back in early July. They beat the Orioles 3 straight.
And most of Wieters' power comes from the left side of the plate. He has 11 home runs, as you mentioned, 9 of which he has hit left-handed.
And the 0-1. Make it 0-2. 5th overall pick in the first round back in 2007 of the Orioles. That year, Tampa Bay had the #1 overall pick, and they selected David Price, who is coming into his own this year in the big leagues.
That was a real nice pick.
And the 0-2. Just off the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wieters out of Georgia Tech had a huge career there. Very highly decorated minor league player. And the hype that surrounded this young man when he broke into the big leagues last year, the Tigers were in town, was absolutely incredible. And there was so much talk about what he was going to provide for the organization, how much they were pinning their hopes on him.
Well, they didn't bring him up until that Friday when we were there, but they announced that they were bringing him up on that Monday of that week.
A week long of hype. The 2-2 is ripped to first under the glove of Cabrera into right field. Scott will go to third base. He is in there standing up. And the Orioles now have something going here in the second.
That is something that Wieters has been doing a little bit more of lately, last couple of weeks in particular, and that's pulling the baseball. For the most part, he likes to go the other way, but if you make a mistake at the top of the strike zone, he can pull that ball.
So the Orioles have their first 2 hits of the game, and that'll bring up Adam Jones, the center fielder.
Galarraga was able to get ahead of Wieters, no balls and 2 strikes, and couldn't make the pitch to get him out.
Jones has knocked in 57 this year. He cuts and misses 0-1.
He's a free swinger. He's a dead pull hitter as well. But if he ever learns how to hit the ball the opposite way, Adam Jones, with his skill set, he can be a 300 hitter. And believe it or not, with his speed, he has grounded into 14 double plays this year. Number 15 would be lovely here in the second inning.
Jones has fanned 104 times this year. He leads his team in strikeouts. All-Star and a Gold Glover last year. Trying to pick up Luke Scott at third. You got Matt Wieters at first base. Tigers ahead 1-0 here in the second. And the 1-1. Fought that one off. 1-2 on Jones.
Yeah, that third member of the getting that Gold Glove in the American League is kind of rotated between different guys the last few years. The first 2 guys, Ichiro and Torrey Hunter, have had a stranglehold on theirs for about 8 years in a row.
That guy right there is going to win one soon.
I would agree with that.
1-2. And a ground ball to second. Looks like a double play. There's one. Here's the relay. Got him at first base.
He can run, too.
He made that close.
I'm surprised he's hitting to so many double plays. He must have a difficult time of getting out of the batter's box. It's a real nice pitch by Galarraga. It's outside. Jones reaches for it. Nice feed by Rhymes to Peralta. And Peralta able to turn it over. And they get him by an eyelash.
Tying run scores on the play. No RBI for Jones. Base is empty, though, so Galarraga will take that, and that'll bring up Felix Pie. 1-1 ball game, each team with 2 hits. Pie 3 for 10 this year against Tigers pitching. And he pops this one up. Right side of the infield. Rhymes coming over. In fair territory for the outside retire. They tie it up at 1. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Here at the ballpark tonight, this game is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It's sponsored by Comcast. So as we go to the bottom of the second, the Tigers will have Brennan Bosch leading it off. It'll be Bosch, then Peralta, and then Inge facing right-hander Kevin Millwood. Bosch waves at the first, 0-1. Millwood gave up the infield hit to Jackson and the double to Cabrera. 2 for 9 this year against Orioles pitching. Bosch at 265 overall. Here's Millwood's 0-1. He chased 0-2. Last time Millwood pitched here at Comerica Park, he allowed 5 runs in 1 inning of work back on July the 5th. That's high, 1-2. And prior to that start, he had a career ERA of 2.83 in this ballpark. The Tigers got to him on that day. And they got to him for a run in the first inning here tonight. And that one just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty close pitch right there. And Brennan showed a good eye not to offer at that 1-2 pitch. Jim Joyce said no. The swing back fastball by Millwood.
Lifted toward left. PA is on the move. Bosch is out, 1 gone. Tiger bats have been perking up.
Yes, Lloyd McClendon is getting some sleep these days. The last 3 weeks, they are first in several categories. The young kids have really stepped up. Jackson has been stellar all season long. Peralta has gotten hot and driven in some runs. Rayburn, really you can look up and down the entire batting order, and that's one of the reasons why these guys have performed so well.
And the Tigers had gone through that stretch where they just couldn't get anything going offensively right before the trading deadline. Of course, they traded for Johnny Peralta to help out. The injury to Maglio, to Guillen, to Inge. Once those 3 guys were out, the offense really had trouble getting going. But these days, it has been clicking on all cylinders. And Peralta's been part of the reason he's had good numbers in a Tigers uniform. Johnny 275 wearing the old English D. And he has showed much more power in Detroit than he did in Cleveland earlier this year.
He has also shown the ability lately with 2 strikes to drive the ball the opposite way. He has done it a couple of times on this current homestand.
High fly ball, right center field. Jones cruising over. He'll run this one down in front of the warning track. 2 gone. A couple of fly ball outs for Kevin Millwood. Bring up Brandon in.
There are some guys, and we have a couple of guys on our pitching staff. Bonderman got a lot of ground balls his last start. So did Porcello. But for the most part, when Millwood is on the mound, he throws lots of fastballs up in the strike zone. Therefore, throws lots of fly balls into the outfield.
Inge has hit safely in his last 4.
Seems like Millwood has been around forever. Of course, he came up on those very talented Atlanta Braves staffs with Maddox, Glavine, Schmaltz, Avery. There was a time when that 5 was the best in baseball.
He was only 22 years old when he got to the big leagues, pitching with the names that you just mentioned. Even Denny Nagel was on the staff when he first broke into the big leagues.
He was a hard thrower back then. And I can remember watching a lot of those Atlanta Braves games because they were really the only team that was on television consistently at that time.
Right.
And every time Millwood was not starting, he would be seated right next to Maddox or Schmaltz or Glavine, whichever 3 of those guys that wasn't pitching. He was seated right next to those guys, just absorbing and soaking up all the knowledge that he could get from them. Now he's passing some of that knowledge on to some of the younger pitchers on this Baltimore Orioles staff, I'm sure.
1997, his first year in Atlanta. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball is hammered foul. Back into the seats. 1-2. The count stays on Inge. Millwood this year lost his first 8 consecutive decisions. In fact, he didn't have a win in his first 11 starts. And he finally defeated San Diego in June. But as you were talking about earlier, he wasn't getting a whole lot of run support, and that's why he's piled up 15 losses, which leads the American League in that dubious category. Well, Scott Kazmir, he's lost 13. He has not been what the Angels were hoping.
Even Fausto Carmona, with all the stuff that he has, how has he lost so many games?
3-2 with Avila waiting on deck. And staying alive. Tigers got a run in the first on the RBI double by Cabrera. Double play ball scored a run for the Orioles in the top of the second. Armando Galarraga hoping to even up his record with his 5th win here tonight. Bouncing ball to short. Right there is Cesar Izturis. Inge is out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Millwood. 2 in the books here at Comerica. Before the game, Jim Joyce, of course, has kind of blended right into this game. And, well, it just seems like June 2nd was such a long, long time ago now, don't you think, Rod?
Absolutely. It still brings back great memories. I've known Jim Joyce for a long, long time. I mean, long time, 30 years. He was a minor league umpire when I was playing in the minor league. So I've known him for quite some time. And there are a lot of players around baseball that think he is the best strike ball calling umpire in the game, at least one of them.
Galarraga back to work here in the third, facing Jake Fox, and then Cesar Izturis and Brian Roberts. 1-1 ball game. Ripped down the left field line. It is a foul ball, just barely foul. They'll battle for it. Jump ball. Baseballs hit the seats, man. They are prized possessions.
Who got it? Mom got it.
Yep.
Give it to me.
Moms are always the strongest anyway.
You got that right.
High pop-up. Shallow left field. Shortstop. Peralta makes the catch, and one gone. Time to go back to the studio now. Game break time with Mickey York. All right, Mickey, thank you. Cesar Izturis stands in a 1-1 ball game here and rips one right back up the middle into center.
Well, expect quite a few of these Royals to come up there swinging at the very first pitch because Galarraga has thrown quite a few first pitch strikes. He's now 8 of 9 in that category. Izturis knew that. Galarraga a little upset with himself. I guess he felt like he made a bad pitch.
There's Brian Roberts, a strikeout victim to start the ball game. Galarraga has allowed just 4 earned runs in his last 4 outings. Those were the numbers coming in, but just 1 victory in that stretch. One on Roberts. Armando now 9 for 10 in first pitch strikes. Talking to Rick Knapp before the game today, and I said, did Galarraga learn anything from that perfect game? Did he change anything after the perfect or near perfect game? And he said the one thing he realized was that even though he didn't have his best stuff, getting ahead of batters and throwing first pitch strikes, it seemed to click in. He was more confident with pounding the strike zone early as opposed to nibbling. And when you do that, you can have success.
That's good to hear.
And he apparently has been able to do that a lot tonight. We mentioned 9 of 10 in first pitch strikes. Sometimes it's easier said than done, though, when you're facing teams like Chicago that have all those big, powerful hitters, and Texas and such.
Well, if you want to stay up here for a while, you better learn how to stay out of the middle of that plate. And Galarraga, his last 4 starts have done that. He's been pretty good. And it's pretty universal. I mean, you can look at any pitcher across the board, and the difference between them falling behind 1 ball and no strikes opposed to no balls and 1 strike is starting. At least 100 points for most guys just by throwing strike 1.
Here's the 0-2. And he missed with it, 1 and 2.
Izturis does run a little bit, not a whole lot. He has 9 steals. He's been caught 5 times. But Galarraga is one of the best on the Tigers staff at limiting the amount of stolen bases that he gives up. He does a very nice job keeping runners close.
Grounded foul. Roberts back in their lineup on the DL with a sprained ab from pretty much April through July. He was not in their lineup the last time the Tigers faced the Orioles. Certainly gives them another dimension at the top. Fouled away again. Well, the one thing the Orioles have been able to do apparently under Buck Showalter is pitch a whole lot better. Their ERA before Buck took over was in the 5s. It is lowered into the 3 range with Showalter at the helm.
Accountability, and that's a big word for Buck Showalter. Everybody's accountable for their success, their preparation, and everything that goes along with being a real good, reliable major league player.
Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, the Orioles certainly are begging for a winning season. Their last winning season was 1997. And they had 98 wins that year, so it's been a while. They haven't won 70 games in a year since 06. Fly ball to center field. Jackson on the move. Still going back, and he'll run it down. Izturis heads back to first base.
For one of the few times it didn't appear that Jackson got a real good jump off of that ball here off of Roberts' bat, but he has the kind of speed where he can recover. Take a look at him. First couple of steps kind of slow. Then he has to get on his horse to make that play.
Two gone. He's going to bring up Ty Wigginton.
Jackson must feel like a kid in a candy store patrolling center field here at Comerica Park. It's so spacious. and he has a lot of room to roam around out there.
He can really utilize that speed that he has and that quick first step when it's 420 to dead center field.
I have to say the scouting reports on Jackson were dead on when they talked about his defensive skills when they made the deal to acquire him from the New York Yankees. Everybody, I mean everybody, said this kid was ready to play defensively in the big leagues right now. Now we'll see if he can hit.
And he's done just that. Everybody talks about his speed, and he seems to run everything down, but how important is that first step that he has?
It's very important because sometimes it could be the difference in whether you can get to a ball or not. And Jackson has said on many occasions that there have been balls that have gone up that he does not think that he can get to, but because the first step is so quick, he's able to make those plays rather easily.
Wigginton unable to hold up.
Galarraga's got a really nice slider, and most right-handers do not pick it up very well. It's got some really nice depth to it, and that's the pitch that he gets a lot of his strikeouts with against right-handers. They don't get many hits against them either.
Two and one on Wigginton, who fly to center field his first time up. Tigers got a run in the first. The Orioles added one in the second to tie the game. And the 2-1. In the air, center field. Looks to be routine for Jackson. And it is. Inning over. No runs, a hit, one man left, 2.5 in the books. Still 1-1.
Get group tickets, picnic and party suites, and they are available with groups of 15 or more receiving discount tickets to select games while supplies last. Call 313-471-BALL or visit tigers.com.
I see you, Rod.
And it's somebody's birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Alex Avila hammers the first pitch deep into left field. Pierre going back to the edge of the warning track, and one gone.
That's the second left-hander that has come to the plate today. Bosch was the other one. Didn't hit it very well, but the ball traveled a little further to left than I thought. There must be some wind up there tonight.
We'll bring up the top of the lineup now. It'll be Austin Jackson, who reached on an infield hit and scored a run.
He is closing in on 100 runs scored this year, and what a season that would be.
He is now 7 shy, 93 runs scored. Amazing.
When you talk to any leadoff hitter in the major leagues, they will simply tell you the only goal they have going in is to score 100 runs. Because if you do that, then you know that all the other secondary numbers will take care of themselves.
Probably at the point of the season where we should stop comparing Mr. Jackson to other rookies, but other good leadoff hitters, other good hitters, period, in the league. He has been atop a lot of the different categories. And here's a guy a couple of months or a couple of weeks in the month of September, and Austin Jackson now is still hitting 300. 93 runs scored. There's the 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3-1.
I think he and Naphtali Feliz of the Texas Rangers will probably finish 1 and 2 in the Rookie of the Year voting, depending on whether you want a closer or you put more value in an everyday player.
Popped up. Foul ground. Fox has room. 2 outs. That'll bring up Will Rhymes. I'm still going with Jackson. And sure, call me a homer. He's the home guy. Sure, but I still put a lot of value on a guy that plays every day, plays a premium position, and is hitting 300.
I wouldn't argue with you. The other guy's got 35 saves, though, I think.
He does. And that's not to downgrade what he has meant to a team that's probably going to get to the playoffs. But it is baseball more than any other sport is a grind. And to be able to do it every day like Jackson has is, to me, very impressive. But I don't have a vote. There's a strike called, 0-1 on Rhymes. Will had a sacrifice in the first inning. 0-2 on Rhymes.
I've noticed opposing pitchers have started to throw Rhymes at the top of the strike zone. They've gotten him to pop up on occasion, and that's one of the things that he must continue to try to do, is make sure the ball's down in the strike zone so he can hit some ground balls and some line drives, and he can utilize his best asset, which is his speed. Fly balls do Will Rhymes no good at all.
That'll get back out of play. By the way, it was announced today by the Tigers before the game that Carlos Guillen is scheduled to undergo a diagnostic surgical procedure on his left knee, which means that Will Rhymes is probably going to see second base action the rest of the year.
That injury must have been a little bit more severe to Carlos than many thought, because when he went out with that injury, they thought he'd be only done for 2 weeks. And Carlos felt the same way.
Bouncing ball hit to the right side. Nice play there by Roberts. And the Tigers go 1-2-3. Good inning from Millwood. 3 in the books, and we are still tied at 1. Kemba Rod Allen back at the ballpark. Glad to have you with us. We also have some special guests in the booth. Mark Backhouse, who is seated over there to my right. Wave, Mark. And we have Mike Lalonde, who is seated behind me. Wave, Mike. Thank you very much. And Rod, they were contest winners. They bid. Remember we were in Tampa?
Yeah, they bid a lot of money on us.
They bid a lot of money.
They did.
In this booth.
They did.
And so we're giving them their money's worth, including some FaceTime here, fellas. So we appreciate you helping out and bidding, and we hope you're having fun here tonight.
I don't really know how much they bid, though. But the fact of the matter is they've been up here for 3 innings with us, and it's been very enjoyable.
Absolutely. So welcome Mark Backhouse and Mike Lalonde, our special guest tonight. There's a pop-up. Middle of the infield. And it looks like Markakis will be out number 1, and he is.
Well, I told you they were going to start swinging at the very first pitches that Galarraga has been throwing, because he's been first pitch strike on just about every single hitter. But the key is Galarraga is locating the very first pitch in an area where they really can't do a lot of damage.
So Armando giving up that 1 run in the second has looked good here tonight. Luke Scott started the rally in the second with a base hit.
He also swung at the very first pitch when he started that inning with the base hit.
That one missed high, 1-0. Scott has 26 homers this year, which is a career high.
He leads their team in homers and RBIs and does not have nearly as many plate appearances as the guys that play every day. So he's having a nice year for Buck Showalter.
And it seems like he has a nice at bat every time against Tigers pitching. Here's the 1-1. I would much rather face Luke Scott in this ballpark than I would in Baltimore, because the ball flies out of that yard. Here, at least, if he hits it to center field, he's going to be out.
That is a fact. Look at those forearms, though. He's a strong guy.
And the 2-1. 2-2.
Nice little backdoor breaking ball there by Galarraga, especially in a fastball count. 2 balls, 1 strike. 83-mile-per-hour slider that looks like it's off the plate and then catches the outside corner. It's also a pitch where Scott knows he can't do a lot of damage with that pitch anyway.
Popped him up. Peralta, the shortstop. And there are 2 gone. Well, it's another big weekend of college football, and on your screen is the lineup of games tomorrow across the Fox Sports Detroit outlets. The schedule includes 4 teams ranked in the Associated Press Top 25, including 5th-ranked Texas and number 8 Florida. That's college football Saturday tomorrow on Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Football is here. It is nothing like college football. That's fouled back out of play. Howard Schnellenberger, the head coach at Florida Atlantic, is in the house tonight. He is, of course, going to play Mark Antonio Spartans tomorrow at Ford Field.
He was kind enough to come up here and chat with us for about 5-10 minutes.
Interesting man. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball slowly to the second baseman Rhymes. And Galarraga has himself an easy 4th inning. An 8-pitch 4th inning. Detroit is brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute, the most trusted name in eye care. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Johnny Damon leading it off as we go to the bottom of the fourth. For the Tigers, it'll be Damon and then Cabrera and then Ryan Rayburn. Breaking ball from Millwood. Bounces in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orioles tonight a run on 3 hits. Tigers a run on 2 hits. Two and 1. Johnny popped up in the first inning. There's Cabrera waiting on deck. Little pop up, shallow left, and he dunks it in there. Base hit.
Let's take a look at Cabrera's first at bat today. It came in the first inning against Kevin Millwood. There was a runner on third, and there were 2 outs, but Millwood looked like he was pitching around Cabrera. The first 3 pitches missed the strike zone. Then he came back with a strike, and then he tried to throw another strike by Cabrera. And Cabrera whisked a double down the left field line to drive in the run with 2 outs and a base open, and he gets himself a hustling double. And those were the first swing Cabrera has taken in 3 days because he's been battling that left bicep tendonitis.
And the RBI double gave him 111 RBIs.
I was kind of shocked that Millwood allowed Cabrera to hit a double there. It's not that you can control where a guy hits the ball, but I was more shocked that he didn't walk him, I guess.
It is popped up. Foul ground. Weeders. 1 away. So they get Cabrera this time, and they'll bring up Ryan Rayburn. Cabrera's getting some company now. He has 111 RBIs. Jose Bautista has 106. His unbelievable year for the Blue Jays just continued. Here's Rayburn.
Here's a situation where Damon might consider stealing a base. You don't have to worry about Cabrera and vacating the base, which they probably would walk him, but he's 9 of 10 this year, but he just hasn't run all that much. Weeders throws out 26%, which is pretty good. He's caught 17 in 66 attempts. You always have to get help from your pitchers, of course.
Hammered to right field, base hit. Damon is going to hit the bag. Here he comes to third. He's going to try for 2. Rayburn is in there. Tigers in business here in the fourth.
Millwood a little concerned with Damon on first base. He went to the slide step, and he didn't get a whole lot of his fastball at the bottom of the strike zone, and that ball was whistled into the right center field gap by Ryan Rayburn. What an approach. And it seems like every time the Tigers put a ball in play, they're looking to force the issue as far as taking an extra base. Jim's got him playing hard.
It's the 20th double of the year now for Rayburn. And that's going to bring up Brendan Bosch. Big opportunity for Brendan. Bosch right now 63 RBIs.
Well, the one thing that Brennan must concentrate on here is not giving in to Millwood as far as those elevated fastballs are concerned. That's the way that he got him out. In the very first inning, he started out throwing fastballs up, and he finished him off with a breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone. Or you can simply look for that fastball up there if it's around the letters, and if you're strong enough to get on top of it, you can drive the run in. There it was. That's a hittable pitch, though. It's up, but it's hittable.
One ball, 1 strike on Bosch. Fly to left field back in the second, 0 for 1. Chased again. 1-2. Millwood won the ERA title back in 2005. He was pitching for Cleveland at the time. He had a 2.86 ERA. Won the earned run average title despite having a losing record. So apparently lack of run support has followed him around in his career.
It really has.
35-year-old veteran out of Gastonia, North Carolina. That was his hometown. In terms of where he was born, he goes 6'4", 235. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Bosch is out of there. Second strikeout for Millwood. By the way, tonight you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space in the player's uniform number to 37338. That's FSDET. See the final results postgame during Tigers Live. Here's Johnny Peralta. Peralta had a fly ball to center back in the second, 0 for 1. And again in the air to center field, right at Adam Jones. And the Tigers threaten but do not score. They strand a pair in scoring position. We go to the 5th inning. Jones will lead it off. Now of Buck Showalter, and Rod, as we look at the numbers with and without Buck, we can see a lot of improvement in really different areas.
Well, as I said earlier, accountability. That's a big word with Buck Showalter. He's been with 3 other major league clubs, and he has done nice work with all 3 of those clubs that he has been with. The Yankees, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Texas Rangers. This is now his 4th opportunity to rebuild, and so far so good for Buck.
They'll send Adam Jones up there in the 5th inning. It'll be Jones, PA, and then Fox facing right-hander Armando Galarraga. A 1-1 ball game here tonight.
When Buck was hired by the Arizona Diamondbacks, he was hired in November of 2005 to be their manager. They weren't going to start playing Major League Baseball until 2008.
Hit him.
Jerry Colangelo, who was the owner at that time, it became apparent that Buck was not going to go back to New York. Jerry Colangelo, he called Buck Showalter at 12:01 after his contract expired. 12:01. And he offered him the money to come to Arizona to build that franchise. And Buck sat there and had a say in just about every single thing that went into the entire organization for 2.5 years before he took the managerial job on the field.
So that literally is ground up.
He built the Arizona Diamondbacks from the ground up.
Here's Felix Pierre. Buck is also the only manager that was fired twice the year before that team went on to win the World Series. The Yankees and the D-backs. 0 for 1 for Felix Pierre. Jones down at first base. Modest lead. Driven toward left field. Rayburn is there. Pierre is out.
Let's take a look at Galarraga tonight. And he looks as good tonight as he has looked in his prior 4 starts. He's keeping the ball out of the middle of the strike zone, which is key for him. He's also been ahead of just about every single hitter. And then once he gets ahead, he changes the eye level with what appears to be hittable fastballs, but they really can't get to them. And then when he needed a double play most to get himself out of a jam early in this game, he was able to get that off the bat of Adam Jones. So it's been a nice start once again for Galarraga.
Here is Jake Fox, the former Michigan Wolverine. All Big Ten performer at Michigan in his collegiate days, waving a miss. Fox was acquired by the Orioles from Oakland back in mid-June, mid to late June. He has showed some power in the minor leagues and also some in the big leagues as well. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and belted. Way back, and there's the power. It's a 2-run homer for Jake Fox.
Yeah, he threw him a hanging curveball or a slider there, and big fella didn't miss it.
When they clear the bullpen and make it to the seats, they can hit pretty good.
And take a look at the location of this hanging slider, and most of the time these do not get to the catcher's glove. It's up, and it's not doing a whole lot. And look at the concentration by Fox. Head down. Lower half is nice and firm and strong. He's got those big, strong legs.
Here's his Turris. So the Orioles take their first lead of the night. 3-1 ball game, Baltimore. Fox hits his 7th home run.
The Baltimore Orioles had yesterday off, but before they came to Detroit, they were at Yankee Stadium, and they were an eyelash away from sweeping the Yankees. So they're playing some decent baseball.
Swisher hit a home run in the 9th against them, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Otherwise, the Orioles would have swept that series. His Turris had a single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 1. Fouled away, 1-2. Cesar Izturis is the older half-brother of Meiser Izturis, who plays with the Angels. He's rolled foul. One and 2, the count stays on Cesar. Ryan Roberts will hit next.
Nice crowd here at the America Park tonight. The kids can come out tonight. It's Friday night. No school tomorrow.
Good crowds all year long, especially during the summer months when the kids were out of school. And the 1-2. Shot foul again. Tigers this year have drawn 2.2 million here at Comerica Park. And only New York, Minnesota, LA, and Boston have averaged more or drawn more at home than the Tigers. They love their Tigers here in Detroit.
It's one of the things that Jim Leland talks about quite often is the fact that Tigers fans, and he also throws the Cardinals fans in there as well, are two of the best fans bases in the country, in his opinion. And he's awfully proud of the fact that since he took over here in 06, there's been a whole different attitude.
Popped him up. Inch at third base under it.
He doesn't take credit for it, but he's happy at the fact that over 2 million fans come out to Tiger games. Hey fans, be at Comerica Park this Sunday when the Tigers take on the Baltimore Orioles at 1:05. All kids 14 and under receive a Tigers back-to-school binder. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Well, some of the little people have to come back out on Sunday.
Yes, they are. And I'm sure they will. Two outs, and here is Roberts, who lines one foul back out of play. Ryan Roberts 0 for 2, strikeout and a fly ball. What was your favorite giveaway as a kid? Do you remember?
Probably either the little small bat that they used to give you at Dodger Stadium, or they used to have helmet night too.
Ooh, that was big.
They used to give the little helmets, little plastic helmets.
Yeah.
Those are two of my favorite nights. Two of my favorite nights.
I am with you on that. I loved Bat Night at Old Tiger Stadium. It was the best. Actually, it was Bat Day. It was usually during a day game. I missed down low, 1-1. And they used to have Tigers' names engraved on those bats. Those were legitimate, real bats. And I used to have a Dick McAuliffe.
They were nice.
And I kept for a long time. The 1-1 pitch. 2-1 on Roberts. Each team with 4 hits, but the Orioles have taken the lead. The Jake Fox home run here in the 5th. A 2-run shot, his 7th. Breaking a 1-1 tie. And the 3-1. Popped up foul. Heading back to the seats. Inge on the charge. And it's back into the dugout. Three and 2. Galarraga hitting a batter to start this inning, and then the 1-out home run by Fox. And another foul. This one down the left field line. Roberts will take first base with 2 outs. First walk allowed by Galarraga. Keeps the inning going now for Ty Wigginton. Roberts has swiped 8 out of 10. Wigginton's 0 for 2. A couple of fly balls to center, and that one's got away from Galarraga, sliding inside, 1-0. Roberts, by the way, with his base on balls, has now reached base safely in 21 straight games. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
They say he hasn't been running all that much this year with the strained abdominal muscle that kept him on the disabled list the majority of this year, because it's simply, he doesn't want to aggravate it. So he's not run as much as he has run in recent memory.
They missed so much time. He was on the DL in April and didn't come back until the month of July.
I believe somebody told me that he hurt it on opening day.
That's a pretty big piece to miss out of your offense. The guy at the top that can do so many things.
Switch hitter, extra base power, steals bases, no doubt. He's trying to get a real good read on Galarraga. It appears that he wants to try to steal a base, but Galarraga does not give up many stolen bases, and Alex Avila Behind the plate has been really good at throwing the ball down to second. So he's been accurate. And you add in the time that Galarraga gives him to throw, it's going to be tough for Roberts to be safe.
High fly ball, left field, hit well. Rayburn going back to the edge of the warning track to haul this one in. The side retired. They get a couple of runs on the Fox home run. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
With Lay's, happiness is.
Here's our AT&T trivia question. Which active player has the most career 4-hit games? Of course, yesterday Johnny Damon did just that.
And one of the things that Damon did yesterday is he used the entire baseball field. First couple of hits to right field, and then he went up the middle for that third knock, and then he sliced one down that left field corner for his fourth knock of the game. So that's how you get 4 hits in a game, and that's how you get over 2,500 hits in your career, using the entire baseball field.
Well, here's Brandon Inge to lead it off in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tigers now find themselves trailing for the first time tonight. 3-1 is our score. Millwood spins one home for a strike, 0-2.
That's a tough pitch right there. It's a pitch that looks like a fastball coming out of Millwood's hands at the top of the strike zone, and you lay off of it, and the ball simply drops right around your knees. That is a big, big breaking ball there by Millwood.
One and two on Brandon. He bounced out his first time up. Tried to check it, and he went around. It was an easy one to call for Marvin Hudson. One away. Here comes Alex Avila. The closest Millwood came to winning a Cy Young Award was back in 1999 when he finished 3rd in the National League voting. Randy Johnson won it that year. Mike Hampton of Houston was 2nd, and then Millwood 3rd. Millwood won 18 games that year. Right back to the mound, easy play. And there are 2 gone.
Randy Johnson won 4 straight Cy Youngs with the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was just game sick. Really was. And I had a chance to watch all of those starts. I mean, in the prime of his career, just unbelievable.
Well, Millwood that year in '99 was 18-7, so he won 18 games and had an ERA of 2.68.
Pretty good.
And he didn't win it. Randy that year won 17, but his earning was 2.48.
And he probably struck out over 300.
364 to be exact.
I shortchanged him by about 6 to 4. You don't see many guys striking out 300 no more.
No, you don't. No, it's kind of surprising when you do see it. Jackson shoots one back toward the seats and back out of play. 1-1 on Austin. Midfield single scored a run back in the first. Randy Johnson, the most dominant left-handed pitcher you've seen?
Oh, yes, by far.
I'm trying to think of someone that might even be close.
I can't even think of anybody. They're comparing that young kid in Cincinnati to Randy Johnson these days. What is his name? Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah. And it'll get through. Base hit. Yeah, he throws 100 miles an hour plus.
Yes, he does.
He's going to bring on Will Rhymes. Tigers now have their 5th hit of the night. 2 of them for Austin Jackson.
Would not be shocked to see a pitch out on the first or second pitch here by Millwood with leaders behind the plate. Buck Showalter in that dugout. He is very aware of Jackson's ability to steal a bag. Therefore, he's going to give the combination every chance possible at throwing Jackson out if he's in a running mood here tonight.
Rhymes 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Millwood has thrown 70 pitches. 40 of them for strikes. Ball 1 to Rhymes. It's outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Millwood tough to run on. He slide steps. He takes very little time in getting that ball out of his hand into the glove of Matt Wieters. 1.3 seconds and above is the pitch where you can run on if you're a base runner. Anything below that, it's almost impossible to be safe at second. And it appears that Millwood is below 1.3 seconds.
Runner goes. Line drive caught by the second baseman Roberts. Inning over. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the 6th. Which active player has the most career 4-hit games? Damon had one yesterday. Oh, it's Pudge Rodriguez, who had 44 career games with 4 or more hits. And there's your list. Pudge, then Ichiro. Johnny Damon's on that list with 36. Right behind Alex Rodriguez.
The one thing all 4 of those guys have in common, they all will utilize the entire baseball field. A-Rod did it with power.
Markakis leads it off. There's a strike, 1-1. Scott the follow, and then Matt Wieters. 2-run homer by Fox in the 5th inning. The difference in this one. Big swing there by Markakis. Nick is 0 for 2 in this one. Pop up and a ground out. Right now a 5-game hitting streak. And the 1-2. We were talking about this in KC with Billy Butler having picked up a hit in 96 consecutive series. There's Markakis leading the way.
I told you he's a good player. A lot of people don't know about him, but he's a really good two-way player. 132 consecutive series with at least 1 hit.
That started in May of 08. Not going to get a hit here as Inge camps under it and 1 gone. So he's 0 for 3 tonight. Here comes Luke Scott. Scott with a single and a pop-up. He has also scored a run. Luke now has hit 20 or more home runs in 3 straight seasons. He's had himself a really good month of August, too. Or had himself a good month of August. 20 RBIs last month. And the 0-1. Way outside, 1-1.
Their entire team perked up when Buck Showalter put on that uniform. And there's a lot of guys down there on the Orioles side that are simply playing for jobs next year. Yes, they have some guys signed and some guys know they're going to be back, but there are several that are on the fence, and they are playing some good baseball right now.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I guess you could sort of liken that to Jim Leland's situation with a lot of the young kids that he has. A lot of those kids are simply playing for an opportunity to win a job in spring training in 2011. And he's getting a real good look at it.
Yeah, I would think having a good September here and a good stretch run would give guys a leg up in spring training next year.
It'll get you more at bats. That much is for sure.
And boy, have we seen a ton of guys come up from Toledo. Opportunities galore this year. 1-2 on Scott. 2-2. Tigers have out hit the Orioles tonight 5-4, but they trail by 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Same teams tomorrow. Game 2, Scherzer and Guthrie. Tigers are going to have Scherzer and Verlander the next 2 days. Pretty good duo. There's Max. And the 2-2 pitch is fouled away again. Seventh pitch in this at bat coming up. Armando has thrown an even 80 pitches. And that one missed. 3-2.
Pretty close.
Tad outside.
Every pitch Galarraga has thrown, Scott has been outside.
And that's fouled off. By the way, before the game today, the Tigers had their team photo taken. It usually happens in September every year. The Tigers all gathered before the ball game today, dressed out in their whites.
Wondering why Bill Brown was all dressed up today.
Mr. Brown, of course, the traveling secretary. There's Mr. Illich right in the middle with Dave Dombrowski and the skipper. And again, the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He finally dispatches Scott. There are 2 gone now. Let's go back to the studio. Time for game break. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mickey, thank you. Here it's a 3-1 ball game as Matt Wieters stands in now with 2 outs.
Well, Mick, that's why they tell you to swing hard, just in case you hit it.
Absolutely. Cardinals came in trailing Cincy by 5. Looks like Cincy's going to hang on in that division now. We'll see.
They've had a rough stretch. They've lost 5 in a row, I believe.
Well, they have. You're right. They have lost 5 straight. They have still a 5-game lead on St. Louis. It's about the only team still alive in that division.
The race in the National League now is in the National League West, where the San Diego Padres have lost 9 of 11, and they've allowed the Giants to come from in 1 game now of taking over that lead. They're playing each other, too.
And the Giants have to believe with their pitching staff, they've got a shot.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That's what's happening in the West. 1-game spread.
That's why you play 162 games. You never know what's going to happen at the end.
Two and two.
And when I say play 162 games, I mean grind out 162 and win as many games as you can.
Here's the 2-2 offering. High fly ball center field. Austin Jackson under it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Galarraga. We are headed to the bottom of the 6th. Damon Cabrera, Rayburn coming up.
For the Coors Light Freeze Can, we're going to take you back to the 5th inning. Galarraga has not made many mistakes over the heart of the plate, but he did to Jake Fox. And Fox played long ball to left field and hit a 2-run home run, and that is why the score is 3-1 Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So thanks to Fox, the Tigers down by 2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Johnny Damon leads it off. Then Cabrera, then Rayburn. Millwood still out there for the Orioles. He's thrown 73 pitches through the first 5 innings.
And he's pretty much gotten it done the way that Kevin Millwood has always gotten it done here tonight. Elevated fastballs and that big breaking ball.
And he's gone 2-0 on Damon. 3, 4, and 5 in Jim Leland's lineup.
It's counts like these where Damon will look to pull the ball if he gets something. That was a nice breaking ball there by Millwood, knowing that Damon likes to take advantage of 2-0 counts and predictable fastball counts. This is a really good pitch by Kevin.
Now it's 3-1. Cabrera waiting on deck. Tigers trying to get it going here in the 6th, down by 2. 3-2. And he popped him up. Wieters. Oh, he dropped it. In fact, I'm not sure he even touched it. New life for Johnny Damon.
You're right. He didn't touch it.
So Damon's still alive here, 3-2. Let's see if he can take advantage. Three-two pitch. Driven foul down the right field line. Wieters charged with an error. And again the 3-2. Sliced foul down the left field line. Damon had a single to lead off the 4th inning. Tigers got runners at 2nd and 3rd in that frame with 1 out. Couldn't score. And he walked him. So he is on base for the 2nd time. First walk for Millwood.
Hey fans, as soon as the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live. You'll hear from the manager, Jim Leland, and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game, show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios immediately after the game, right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
So here is Cabrera. And he spins away from a pitch inside 1-0. Miguel tonight with an RBI double that came back in the 1st, and he popped up back in the 4th inning. 111 RBIs leading the American League. Stood inside again, 2-0. Two and one now in Miguel.
It's a pretty good 2-0 pitch there. First couple of pitches kind of knocked Cabby off the plate. And then he comes back with a fastball that's pretty firm. But it was the location that was key on that 2-0 delivery.
Driven foul back out of play. Cabrera Cabrera leads the way in the American League. There's Bautista at 106 and Vladimir Guerrero at 102. Got 4 guys now in the AL that have reached 100. Teixeira knocking on the door.
Alex Rodriguez has driven in 100 runs, and he has missed a whole lot of time this year. He is something else.
Year after year.
You also have to factor in that lineup he hits in. A lot of guys on the bases all the time. But you still have to do it.
Two. Galarraga hoping his teammates can get some offense going here in the 6th. They gave up a 2-run shot in the 5th inning, breaking a 1-1 tie. And that is rifled foul. A bullet down the third base line, and right there was Mike Escobar to make the call.
It's a changeup. It's a dangerous pitch. But he located it in an area where all Cabby could do was yank that ball foul.
Driven hard toward left field. On the run is PA. He won't get there. It's over the wall and gone. A line drive home run for Miguel Cabrera, and we are tied.
He is really an amazing player.
Talk about line drive homers.
Well, they had to wait before the game started to allow him to take batting practice just to see whether he could play today. And he's only about 85–90% healthy, but just by being in the lineup, he is such a force. And that ball got out of here in a hurry.
3-3 game.
So the one guy that you talk about in your meetings with the pitching coach and the catcher about you're not going to allow this guy to beat you has driven in all the runs today for the Tigers.
He sure has. And one of them came with the base open in the 1st.
And I don't even think this was a strike. It looked like it was off the plate outside. He went out to get it, and he was still able to hit that ball about 365 feet to left center field.
34th home run for Cabrera, and he now has 113 RBI.
Well, he's already in that MVP conversation, and if he continues to have a really good month with Josh Hamilton being out with some sore ribs, he might just win his first MVP.
I'd vote for him right now. I know we've had this conversation. Hamilton's had a great year, but I think Cabrera from start to finish has been as consistent as anybody.
This young man has been hitting since he came to the major leagues. Just hasn't stopped.
The 0-2. So that pop-up that Damon hit, that was misplayed by Wieters, comes back to haunt them. Damon ends up walking, and then Cabrera hits the 2-run homer. The 1-2. Missed it outside. Up the middle. Thanks, Rayburn locked in. That's his second hit tonight. Over 400 this month, and he just continues to pound the baseball. Tigers now have their 7th hit. Bring Rick Kranitz out, their pitching coach.
Well, if you're Brennan Bosch, you pretty much know how they're going to pitch you. They're going to attack you with some fastballs at the top of the strike zone. They might show you something down, but that's just to change your eye level before they go back upstairs.
David Hernandez now warming up in their bullpen. A 3-3 ball game with a 2-run homer by Miguel Cabrera. Bosch 0 for 2 in this one.
That looks like such a good pitch to hit. But at 87 miles an hour, it's just enough. If he gets it in the right spot, and I'm talking about Millwood, to get the swing and miss. This is 87 miles an hour, just a touch above the belt buckle. And Brennan swings at it, and he just comes up empty.
High pop-up, right side of the infield. Roberts to the grass. First out of the inning. Bosch now 0 for 3. It's going to bring up Johnny Peralta. He is flying out to center field twice.
Millwood has now given up a career high 27 home runs. And you brought it up earlier, the ballpark that he plays in Baltimore, is very hitter friendly.
Yeah, the ball seems to fly out of that ballpark
in every direction.
Not seems, it actually does. Millwood came in with 15 losses. And he delivers a strike. Here's the 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike on Johnny Peralta. Johnny 22 RBIs in his last 24 in a Tigers uniform. Got the go-ahead run at first base here with 1 out. And here's Millwood's 100th pitch, and it's ripped foul. Millwood came in with 73 pitches through 5 innings. He has now crossed the 100 plateau, or reached it. He's about to cross it. Shattered his bat, and it's over the head of the third baseman, Wigginton. Rayburn goes to second. He'll stop there. Broken bat single for Johnny Peralta.
That's why you can't be afraid to get jammed with 2 strikes. You get jammed every now and then, you get rewarded with a broken bat single. Versus being out in front, you hit the ball at the end of the bat, it's a ground ball. But he stays back long enough, and bat shatters, but strong enough to muscle that ball over the head of fouls. Wigginton, excuse me.
Tigers have 3 hits in this inning, and for the game now a total of 8. Here comes Brandon Inge.
Well, here's where the Tigers need to capitalize. You know, Millwood's not going to be out there much longer.
Strike 1. One ball and 1 strike on Brandon, who tonight is 0 for 2, ground out strikeout.
Millwood has already thrown a couple of wild pitches in this game, so if you're Rayburn on second, you need to be aware of that fact. If he throws anything up there that resembles it's going to bounce, you have to advance 90 feet, which means Peralta needs to get down to second himself.
Jim Joyce thought about going up the right hand, did not. Then it's 2-1. Inge had 5 hits in that series against the White Sox. Tigers took 3 out of 4 from Chicago. Bouncing ball hit slowly towards second. Roberts has it, flips to second one. Relay is not in time. Ainge legs it out. Rayburn to third.
That's what Jim was talking about a couple of weeks ago with his team, and the fact that everybody's hustling on ground balls that appear to be double play balls. You extend the inning by the hustle of Ainge, and you never know what's going to happen here with Avila.
Barely beat this out by half a step.
Talked about that last night during a little base running teaching 101. You have to hit the front part of that bag, as Ainge did, and that sometimes gets the call in your favor.
So now Avila will try and drive in a run here with 2 outs. Millwood now at 105 pitches. Avila right back up the middle. Roberts on the backhand, and he is out at first base. Inning is over. Tigers strand a couple, but get a 2-run homer from Miguel Cabrera. A line drive home run. We're tied at 3. Presented by Farmers Insurance. On this date in 1967, White Sox lefty Joel Horland no-hits the Tigers in the first of a doubleheader at Comiskey Park. Visit farmers.com to hear real, true stories from Farmers customers. Farmers Insurance, ready, feels good.
Joel Horland, that's a name from the past.
No-hit name from the past. So the Tigers have tied it up thanks to a 2-run shot by Miguel Cabrera. New life now for Galarraga. Armando goes back to the hill here in the 7th inning, facing Adam Jones, Felix Pie, and Jake Fox.
And you want to make Adam Jones use the big part of the ballpark here at Comerica Park. He has 17 home runs. Most of those home runs are to the pull field. He's got power in that direction. Therefore, you stay away from him. He's also pull happy. He loves to pull the baseball.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. Tigers involved in another tight game.
It's a good pitch. It's away. You can see Jones trying to get out in front of it.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. The Tigers' last 7 losses have all been by 1 run. Of course, they won their last 3 against Chicago, so they come in with a 3-game win streak. Schlereth and Weinhardt warming up. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It is outside, 3-1 on Adam Jones. Galarraga has thrown 92 pitches. Felix Pierre waiting on deck. Roll to third base. Inge is right there. And he shoots him down. One gone.
Hey fans, you can follow the Tigers on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phones with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Tigers.com today for all the details you need. They may have one of those devices.
There's Felix Pierre.
What in the world did we do before there was no cell phones and text messaging and all the rest of that stuff?
Well, I guess you can't miss what you don't have. We didn't have it at that point, so I guess it was no big deal. But
did you have a beeper?
No, I never got a beeper.
You never had a beeper back in the day?
I just couldn't wear one of those. How about you?
You had a beeper.
I did not.
I had one.
Did you really?
I had a beeper.
I just was. No.
Somebody beeped you. You didn't have no cell phone to call them back with, so you had to go in the house and call them.
That's the point. I mean, if your wife was pregnant at the time and somebody had to get a hold of you, yeah, sure, you could see wearing a beeper. I just thought people that wore beepers that weren't important thought they were important.
Well, I was in that category.
Here's the 2-0 to Pierre. It's 3-0 on Felix. Pierre is 0 for 2, pop up and a fly out. And there's another one that missed outside. It's a walk. One out, base on ball, second of the game for Galarraga. Leland on his feet now, deciding what is next. Fox, 2-run shot back in the 5th inning. He'll stand in. Ooh, look out. Up at his chin. And time called by Avila.
Yeah, one of the few mistake pitches that Galarraga has made in the game today. A little hanging breaking ball right around the belt buckle, and Big Jake Fox didn't miss it. Also notice that Fox stands right on top of that plate, which means that's why Galarraga threw that first pitch kind of high and tight.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
You can get him out if you stay right there. He is looking to pull the baseball.
Next pitch, number 100 for Galarraga. Line drive caught by the shortstop Peralta. Quick throw. Safe. Two gone. Well, Johnny had a shot there. It was close.
I did too. Looked like PA took a couple of steps towards second base before he realized Peralta caught that ball, and it's a nice stretch by Cabrera. I mean, all of that 6'5" frame of caddy. Look at him stretch out for this thing.
Ooh. Awfully close. Here's Cesar Torres.
Hit that gap.
There's Torres 1 for 2. Armando threw 95 pitches in his last start, but he lasted only 5 innings in Kansas City. 92 the start before that in 6 innings. At 101 right now. High drive right field going toward the corner. On the move is Bosch, and he is up against the wall but can't get it. 1-1 on his Turris. Turris came into this game hitting just 177 in his previous 24 games, so he'd been slumping. He drives this one in the air again to right field. Bosch looks like he has a beat on this one. And the inning is over. No runs, a walk, one left. Stretch time here at the ballpark. Tigers' memorable moment from this season that you'd like to see replayed here on Fox Sports Detroit. Cabrera's 3-homer game against Oakland on May 28th. Scherzer's 14 strikeout outing against Oakland on May the 30th. A couple of your choices. Boy, was Scherzer just incredible that day.
He was a little angry, too. That was right after they sent him down to AAA for a couple starts.
Well, I've got a new pitcher now for the Orioles. That would be David Hernandez in our Wallside Windows pitching chain.
He comes in with a earned run average over 4.5. He does average almost a strikeout per inning, which means Hernandez has got a pretty firm fastball.
Jackson leading it off against him, then Rhymes, and then Damon. 3-3 game in the 7th. Jackson hammers one toward the gap in left center field. Trouble, it's down, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. This has triple written all over it. Here comes Jackson to third. Here's a throw, not in time.
Boy, does he have another gear once he hits second base.
10 triples on the year for Austin Jackson.
He gets a firm fastball at the top of the strike zone and rips this ball past PA, the left fielder. And once Jackson gets to second base, he can see where the ball is, and he makes the decision himself to get over to third base. Watch him run, and watch when he gets towards second. He's thinking 2. Now he's thinking 3.
A 3-hit game tonight for Austin Jackson. The Tigers a golden opportunity to reclaim the lead. So Hernandez is greeted with a triple. And he is tied now with Carl Crawford for the lead in the American League. Here's Will Rhymes. One on Will.
So he has 10 triples, 30 plus doubles, 20 steals. He's hitting 300. He scored 93 runs. Boy, oh boy.
Rookie of the year.
And I think you brought it up, and you said it perfectly earlier. I mean, he's hanging out with all leadoff hitters in a lot of categories, not just rookies, right?
All hitters, period, and that's what makes it so impressive.
Multiple hit games. You name it, he's done it.
Yeah, I was checking on that too. 47 multi-hit games. Cabrera has 48 to lead the team. That's low. One and two on Will Rhymes. So Galarraga hoping the Tigers can get this run in here. Armando 7 strong tonight, allowing 3 runs. And the 1-2. Now tipped into the glove for strike 3. 1 out. First strikeout for Hernandez. So Millwood, who threw 33 pitches in the 6th inning alone, gives way to Hernandez, and he was greeted with a triple, but he's trying to pitch his way back into this inning now as he faces Damon. Johnny's been on base twice, single and a walk. He went around. This is Mike Estabrook. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Slapped in the air, shallow left field on the charge is PA, and running from short is his Turris, coming out of nowhere to make that play and foul ground, and now the Tigers faced with a 2-out situation here.
Well, Cabrera will not get a chance to drive the run in. At least I don't think he will get a chance to drive in his 4th run of the game. So it will be up to Ryan Rayburn to do it.
Looks like they'll walk him intentionally, so add to his total. 30 intentional walks.
He was closing in on that American League record of 33.
He's definitely within the sights now. He should put runners at first and third. The Tigers tonight have 4 extra base hits, a couple of doubles, a triple, and a homer. Yesterday they had 13 hits, all singles.
Rayburn has one of those doubles to go along with the 2 hits that he has today.
So Cabrera continues to climb that list. Next up, George Brett. And then Williams and Olerud. Here's Rayburn now as the defense will relax. They back up the middle. Well, Ryan is single and a double. See if he can get it done with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Nine Tigers hits tonight, just 4 for the Orioles. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Hernandez pitches around a leadoff triple. He strikes out 2 in the inning. Tigers strand 2. We go to the 8th. To you by your neighborhood Spartan store. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. And by National Coney Island, fast, fresh, and friendly since 1965. Back here at the ballpark, the Tigers now have made a pitching change of their own. We are all tied up in this one. Phil Coke will check in for Detroit.
Well, this one will be decided by the bullpens here tonight. 68th game now that Coke has been in. He's won 7 games. The earned run average is really good at 2.65. He takes that ball just about every time Jim Leland calls down there and calls for his number. He has been a really nice pickup this year.
And like Hernandez, who came on to face the top of the Tigers order, Coke will come on here in the 8th facing the top of the Orioles order.
I read something today where they might be contemplating starting Phil Coke next year. You reading anything into that?
I actually heard Leland talk about it yesterday in his office before the game, saying that let's not get crazy here. This isn't something that we've decided on, but yes, he is considering moving him to rotation next year. That's hammered in the air to center field. Jackson is going to have room on this one, and one pitch, and Roberts is up. By the way, if Jose Valverde is credited with a save in this game, text Zoom to 37338. You can enter to win a party in a Comerica Park suite brought to you by Mazda. So if the Tigers do indeed consider that next year, I think part of the reason, Rod, is that you need at least one lefty in your rotation, don't you?
Well, it'd be nice to have one, but you have to have a quality left-hander. It just can't be any left-hander. And, of course, Phil Coke would fall into that quality category. I think you were mentioning it a couple of days ago. And you were talking about how many left-handed bats there are in our division that are good bats. And it would be nice to have a left-hander go in most of those series against some of those left-handed bats.
Ty Wiggins in the batter.
Something else, let me finish. Something else a left-hander allows you to do is that your switch hitters, their dominant side is usually left-handed hitting. So you turn around all your switch hitters to their less dominant side right-handers. So you negate the left-handers, and then you turn the switch hitters around to their weaker side.
Yeah, it makes sense all the way around. I think Coke deep down would like to start. The 0-2 is high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He has really excelled in this spot in the lineup, but he had started in the minor leagues. I was talking to him about this in Toronto the other day in the last road trip, and he was saying, again, you know, certainly I think everybody would like to start or close games. I mean, those are the 2 really big spots on a pitching staff.
They are the more lucrative positions, although Phil Coke would not say. Setup men simply do not, other than their teams, they don't get a whole lot of the glory, but starters do, and closers, as you mentioned.
So we'll see how it plays out, but in the meantime, this has been a great spot for him. The 1-2 to Wigginton. 2-2.
It's almost like college baseball. Most of your scholarships go to your shortstop and your pitchers. Everybody else has to scramble for a little piece of a scholarship.
Whatever percentage they can get. But those stud pitchers, hot commodities.
They get full rides.
Way outside. 3-2 on Wigginton. 3-3 game here in the 8th. Foul away. Wigginton is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball in the air 3 times. Twice to center, 1 to left. All-star year this year for Wigginton. The first time in his career he made an all-star team. He's hit 20 homers and knocked in 66.
And apparently Buck Showalter, one of those managers that likes a little bit of pop in that number 2 spot, because that's where Wigginton is batting with the 20 big flies he has.
Oh, look out. Coke is hit on apparently the foot or the leg. A rocket right back up the middle.
Right off the shoe.
Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer, comes running out. Coach says, I'm all right. Give me the ball. On the heel, maybe?
Yep, that right heel. Exmo will give you a real good look at it. Kevin Rand in his 8th season as the head athletic trainer for the Detroit Tigers.
Phil Coates not going to be coming out of this game. I don't think he'll let the skipper take him out. So he'll remain in the contest. It's going to bring up Nick Markakis. Only the 5th hit tonight for the Orioles offense. And Markakis hitless 0 for 3.
Markakis has outstanding numbers against left-handed pitchers. Left-handers, they do not bother Markakis. Especially your good left-handed pitchers.
To center field, sinking, base hit. So Markakis, as the ball gets away momentarily from Jackson, he's going to go to third. The lead runner, Wigginton, that is. Markakis pulls in with a single.
That will be an unfortunate error by Jackson. Wigginton was not going anywhere, apparently. And Jackson did something in center field, whether he looked up or not, to see what Wigginton was doing, but he didn't field the ball cleanly. And Wigginton is able to get to third base.
Pinch runner coming out now. Julio Lugo.
He's probably asking Buck Showalter when he gets back to that dugout, didn't you just see me go first or third?
Yes, but you're out of the game anyway.
Well, the batting average for Markakis just went up a tick against left-handed pitching.
And now Rick Knapp is going to come out with Luke Scott coming up. Single E8 on that last play. That was Markakis' first hit of the night. Robbie Weinhardt is warming in the Tigers' pen. You got the number 4 hitter coming up now with runners at first and third and 1 out. Scott has a single and 3 at bats plus a run scored. Good block by Avila. It's going to get by him, though, and going to second base easily is Markakis, but the runner at third will hold. Wild pitch. So that'll change things quite a bit now. The Tigers will pull the infield in. Luke Scott has been much better against righties. Well, he's hit 7 home runs against left-handed pitching this year. They're going to walk him intentionally now with first base open.
I guess the question is now, do they allow Coke to stay in, or do they go to the single ball or Robbie Weinhardt to see if they can get the double play ball here?
Well, double play would end the inning, so maybe Weinhardt does come in here. Here comes ball 4. And it looks like they're going to stay with Coke. Tigers fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats that you want or sell the tickets to the games that you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Good move here by Jim. Although Weinhardt is warming up, you turn Wieters around, as we talked about with left-handers. You turn around that switch hitter to his weaker side, and where he's only hitting 206. But Coke still has to make the pitches.
High fly ball, right field, way back. Bosch going to the wall to make the catch. This will get the run in. Markakis will score. Lugo, rather. Markakis goes to third. And a sac fly and an RBI for Wieters to break the tie.
The Tigers were faced with that same exact situation back in the bottom half of the 7th with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, and they couldn't get the job done.
That will be it now for Phil Coke. Adam Jones coming up. Coke gives up the baseball. Tigers have given up the lead in this game. It's now 4-3. Weinhardt's coming in. We'll be back. Robbie Weinhardt checks in now, and he will try and put out the fire here as the Orioles have taken the lead with a run in the 8th.
Well, Weinhardt's got that natural sink on his fastball to his arm side, which is where Adam Jones likes the baseball, so he must be very careful. He does throw that two-seam fastball inside the Jones.
Shot to right field, base hit. That's going to drop in off the end of the bat. Score Markakis on the play and make it 5-3.
That was a two-seam fastball, and he kind of ran that ball in on Jones, but Jones did something there that he doesn't normally do. He hit the ball the opposite way for a single. Usually Jones is pulling that baseball.
His 58th RBI of the year. 2-run lead for Baltimore.
It's a two-seam fastball. Let's see where the location is. Actually, that ball kind of leaked right back over the heart of the plate, and that allowed Jones to extend his arms to take that single into right.
Felix Piet hits a ground ball to second. And Will Rhymes will end the inning, but it's an inning in which the Orioles have taken the lead. 2 runs in, we go to the bottom of the 8th. Miguel Cabrera 2 for 3 with a double and a 2-run homer in this game. 3 more RBIs to lead the American League. Fox a 2-run shot in the 5th inning for the Orioles, and there are the runners in scoring position. Numbers Tigers only 1 for 10. Got a new pitcher now, and that would be Jim Johnson.
17th game now that Johnson has been in. He comes in with a 1-1 record. He's blown some saves this year, and the earned run average is over 5, but he does have 14 strikeouts in 15 innings pitched.
Josh Bell, meanwhile, takes over defensively at third base. Bosch leading it off. 5-3 Baltimore. It'll be Bosch, Peralta, and Inge here in the 8th. Ball high, and it's 2-0. Jim Johnson is 6'6", 230. Ironically born in Johnson City, New York. Lives in Sarasota, Florida. Been with the big club off and on since 2006. And the 2-1 pitch to left field. Felix Piet. 1 out. Bring up Peralta. Night game tomorrow as well. Game 2 of the series. It's going to feature Scherzer and Guthrie. Verlander and Tillman on Sunday before the Tigers again hit the road. Ball 1 to Peralta. Way inside, 2-0 the count. Three and one. Tigers need a base runner here. Bring the tying run to the plate. They've got Inge waiting on deck. Towards second base, where Roberts is positioned perfectly. And Peralta is out 2 away. Here comes Inge with the bases empty. Brandon is 0 for 3 tonight. Tigers led 1-0. Orioles tied it. Orioles went ahead. Tigers tied it on the 2-run homer by Cabrera in the 6th. But the O's breaking the tie here in the 8th. Ball 1. That one might get through, and it will. Opposite field single for Inge. The Tigers now have an even 10 hits. Bring the tying run to the plate. It'll be Alex Avila, who is 0 for 3. Tried to hold up, went around, 0-1. Millwood started this one. Gave way to Hernandez in the 7th, who gave up a leadoff triple, but the Tigers failed to score Austin Jackson, and now Johnson here in the 8th. The 0-1 to center field, and caught by Jones. Side retired. No runs, 1 hit. We go to the 9th in a 5-3 ball game. Down by a couple of runs as we go to the top of the ninth inning here, despite the fact the Tigers have 10 hits tonight. They have just 3 runs, and Robbie Weinhardt goes back to the mound. Jake Fox will lead it off. Fox is Turris, and then Roberts.
46 home runs now by Bautista.
Wave and a miss. And he is getting closer and closer to, although Cabrera does have 3 RBIs tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Miguel's trying to hold him off for the RBI chase. That may be, I don't know if it's the story in baseball this year, but it's got to be one of the biggest.
If he gets to 50 home runs, it's going to be really interesting to see how some people start voting for guys that get postseason awards.
Are you thinking MVP?
Well, it's going to be, I mean, he's only hitting about 260, but man, 50 home runs, 115 driven in.
He would be the first Blue Jay to reach 50 homers. Cabrera will have a say in who wins that award.
True.
One and 2 on Fox. Fox hit a 2-run shot in this one back in the 5th inning. And he drives one down the left field line. That looks like trouble. It's a fair ball. Fox headed to second base. He's in with a double. So a huge runner there now. Leadoff double for Baltimore. Ninth double of the year for Fox. Going to bring Jim Leland out of the dugout again. And it appears he'll go right back to his bullpen. So Daniel Schlereth will come into this game. Another pitching change here in downtown Detroit. We'll be back in a 5-3 game. By Mass Mutual, the Tigers have a couple of hitters tonight with multi-hit games. Jackson and Cabrera and Rayburn. Jackson a 3-hit game tonight. Tigers have 10 hits total, but they trail 5-3 in this one. And Daniel Schlereth comes on. There's a strike called on his Turris showing bunt. Pinch runner is Corey Patterson. Fox out of the game.
Patterson's got good speed. And with nobody out and a runner on second base, his Turris is simply trying to get him over to third.
One and one. that one go by, and it's a strike call. Now it's 1-2. Schlereth gets ahead of the count.
Pretty good pitch right here to bunt. This Turris must have thought it was down.
Chop to the right side. Nice play. Cabrera coming to third, and he's safe.
Ill-advised play there by Cabrera. It's not a bad play if you don't have to leave your feet and jump up to make that play. You might get the out, but once you leave your feet, you simply have to take the out at first base.
So runners at first and third. Safe at first base, and a fielder's choice is his Turris. Comes Brian Roberts now. Nobody out. Infield in for the Tigers. Schlereth is the fourth pitcher used tonight by Jim Leyland. Fouled straight back. 1-1 on Brian Roberts. Sits safely in 7 straight, but does not have a hit tonight. He has a walk. One and two. Missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Roberts. Schlereth this year has had 2 separate stints with Detroit. Coming over in the offseason. Back in Toledo this year, he was 4th among all International League relievers with almost 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. And a good ERA. Toledo 2.37. Striking out a lot of batters. And again the 2-2. Driven to the air toward left field. Hit well. Rayburn is on the run. Still going. This will get the run in. Patterson will tag and score. So Roberts with an RBI with a sacrifice fly. It's the first out of the inning, and it's a 6-3 ball game. Josh Bell gets his first at bat. Taking over defensively for Wigginton. He was lifted for a pinch runner earlier. Snap throw, and he almost threw it away. His Turris 9 steals this year, caught 5 times. Off the end of the bat, foul. 0-1 on Josh Bell.
I was reading an article yesterday on BAL, and he was talking about the fact that he went to Yankee Stadium for the very first time, and he saw players like Teixeira and A-Rod and Jeter on the field, and simply couldn't believe that he was on the same field with those types of players. In awe of that whole situation is the words that he put in.
2-1 on Bell.
I think you get a lot of young players that feel the same way. They just don't say it. And because those three guys I mentioned, they have been great major league players.
Bell acquired from the Dodgers from the Orioles. And there's a ground ball to second base. Can they get two? There's one. Yes, they can. A double play. 4-6-3 ending the inning. But a big insurance run for the Orioles. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. And the O's now lead by 3. Since 1849. Wallside Windows. For a free and home estimate, call 1-800-521-7800. And buy Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Well, the Tigers have some work to do now as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, down by 3 runs. And we have a new pitcher now. The closer, the newly anointed closer, Koji Uehara.
He blew his first save of the season just a couple of days ago. Nick Swisher hit a home run against him late in New York, but he has been pretty good other than that. He comes in with 36 strikeouts in 33 1/3 innings against 5 walks. So that's what you want to see out of your closer. You want to see a guy that can throw some strikes, and he also has some very unique sideburns.
Jawburns. Snyder, Brandon Snyder is at first base. This is his major league debut. Tigers at the top of the lineup coming up. They are down 3, 6-3. Uehara brings home a strike. Jackson Rives Damon here for Detroit. Uehara was born in Osaka, Japan, lives in Tokyo. One and two. Ten seasons in Japan for Uehara professionally. Pitched with Yomiuri. Here's the 1-2, and it's lifted in the air to right. Markakis is there, one gone. It's going to bring up Will Rhymes. Symes 0 for 3 did have a sacrifice early in this game. In fact, at his very first at bat, which set up a run for the Tigers in the first inning. In fact, that was the only lead the Tigers had, 1-0 after one. There's a strike called.
And the Tigers had a golden opportunity in the bottom half of the 7th inning with a runner on third and nobody out to take control of this game, but they couldn't get it done. They have also not fared very well tonight with runners in the scoring position, and it's been a while since we've said that. The offense the last 21 games has been really good.
Tonight they just have not been able to get the big hit aside from the home run by Cabrera. Swing and a miss. Rhymes leaving the strike zone for that one.
Uehara appears to be a guy that is not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination, but he throws like the strikes, and it looks like he's got some deception in a couple of different pitches.
Here's Johnny Damon now with 2 outs. Uehara had 32 saves a couple of years ago, 2007 for Yomiuri.
Here it is, hit it. 87, 88 miles an hour with the fastball.
Fly ball, center field, should do it. Jones is there, and the Orioles win game 1 in the series. The Tigers go 1-2-3 as Baltimore comes to town. Buck Showalter's team continues to play good baseball.
Yes, they do.
And they beat the Tigers by a score of 6-3. So the Tigers' 3-game winning streak comes to an end. Orioles a winner tonight. We'll have more from Comerica Park.